Now at 9, SpaceX created the first privately funded spacewalk. Learn what this means for the future of space travel.
And Fringe Production gives opportunities to Ball State students. Learn how this could affect how student media is made.
The Flags of Honor ceremony closed yesterday. See how Muncie recognized the lives lost.
State gubernatorial candidate Jennifer McCormick visited Muncie yesterday. Learn what her campaign is pushing for this election year.
We are tracking warm temperatures and dry conditions. NewsLink Indiana starts now.
Local news about local people, live from Ball State Unified Media. You're watching NewsLink Indiana.
Good evening, and thank you for being with us. I'm Emma Matlock.
And I'm Kamara Munn. According to a press release from the Muncie Police Department, one man has died after a stabbing on September 9th.
Delaware County 911 dispatch received a report of a stabbing on September 9 at 9 p.m. One 31-year-old man was in critical condition, and one 29-year-old man had minor injuries. On September 10th, Delaware County Coroner's Office notified the Muncie Police Department that the 31-year-old was pronounced dead. No arrest has been made yet.
Workers at Springfield City Hall in Ohio were evacuated today due to a bomb threat. The threat came via email at around 8:30 a.m. It was part of a larger threat that involved multiple facilities in the city. The relatively small city was thrust into national conversations after Tuesday's presidential debate. Former President Donald Trump said on stage, Haitian immigrants there have been eating pet dogs and cats. Now, there hasn't been any confirmed cases of that actually happening, and it's not known if the threats are related to that conspiracy theory.
Let's take a look at some current temperatures. Right now in Muncie, 74 degrees, Lafayette, 77 degrees, Indianapolis, 80 degrees, and down in Terre Haute, 72 degrees, holding those pretty steady high 70, pushing 80 temperatures for this evening. Over the next 12 hours, expect the temperatures to start to drop and then continue to drop until we get into the low 60s overnight. And here's what we are tracking today. We are tracking drought relief, warm weather ahead, and cloudy weekend overall.
The sister organization to Cardinal Filmworks Fringe Production House is looking to change the way media is made and who can make it. Fringed is looking towards a fresh start this year in what they call the Blue Sky Phase. In the call-out meeting last night, students of all ages showed great interest in Fringed and are excited to dive deep into episodic film production. Eris Robinson, the executive producer of Fringed, explained what the club is all about.
Fringed is a production house on campus that emphasizes diversity within our community and an underrepresented environment. Media itself is such a boys' club generally, so what we are trying to do is make a welcoming home for people that want to produce.
Fringed is always looking for more members. For more information, contact them through their Instagram at FringedBSU.
The Exchange Club of Muncie held its annual Flags of Honor ceremony over the past week, with yesterday being the closing ceremony and a proper remembrance of the attacks on 9/11. NewsLink's Demar Robinson has more.
In Muncie, the impact of service and sacrifice is on full display. Each year, the Exchange Club of Muncie, with help from over 80 sponsors, transforms the Minnetrista Museum and Gardens, with over 1,000 American flags, paying tribute to veterans and first responders. This annual tradition, known as the Flags of Honor ceremony, beginning in 2013, commemorates those who served in our nation's military, and those who tragically lost their lives during the September 11th attacks 23 years ago to date. For many, the sight of these flags is deeply moving, especially on the anniversary of 9/11. Muncie Exchange Club coordinator Jeffrey Hevelin and current president Lee Nicholson shine the light on how important this event is to the families of those deceased, and how the closing of the ceremony and all that entails brings the Muncie community together and stronger.
We intentionally end this event on 9/11 to remember that horrific day in 2001. So we try and get as broad an impact and organization with the community as much as we can.
It's incredible the amount of support that we get from the community, the donors and the flag sponsors. It's really it's uplifting, and it's, like I said, it's an opportunity for the community to come out and honor persons who they wish to honor, as well as have a unique experience. And Minnetrista is just an amazing venue for this, and we look forward to being here many years in the future.
The closing ceremony kicked off with a concert by America's hometown band, including a few members having served in the military themselves. Muncie's Mayor Dan Ridenour also attended the event, giving opening remarks for the program.
Because they care about our community, they care about those who provide public safety, they care about remembering what happened on 9/11.
There was also a special honoring and the recognition of Exchange Club of Muncie's previous president and former Ball State professor Doug Ammon, who passed away earlier this year. The ceremony closed off entirely with the removal of the colors and the redistribution of commemorative ribbons. And while the flags of honor ceremony lasted only a week, the honoring of those who served will last much longer. In Muncie, Demar Robinson, NewsLink, Indiana.
The Exchange Club of Muncie and the Ministra thank everyone who came out to the ceremony and hope even more attend next year.
Coming up, ChatGPT CEO set to meet with government officials.
Dear moms and dads, what you have achieved here today is going to help us and our futures. It is why we are coming up on stage to collect your diplomas.
You know it's true.
Mom, we love you always.
Everything I do.
When you graduate, they graduate. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too
Sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
Eva Marie smoked 12,000 packs of cigarettes over 15 years. She quit, and now there's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. No matter how much you smoked, early detection could save you. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Man, it's lonely. Like, going through life lonely.
There is the therapeutic aspect of music, just expressing how you feel. I'm going to talk to Howie about his feelings, make it into a song.
Welcome back. Democratic gubernatorial candidate Jennifer McCormick visited Muncie yesterday. She is platforming on women's reproductive rights, education, higher wages, and mental health awareness. She also announced yesterday that part of her plan is to legalize marijuana by establishing a medical marijuana industry, then slowly transitioning to recreational use. In her panel last night, she talked about the importance of political parties working together.
We will always reach across the aisle. So I will continue to do that. We did that when I was in the State House. That's how we're better, we're stronger when we have a lot of thoughts at the table. We may not agree, and that's okay, but let's find some commonalities to move forward.
Jennifer McCormick was previously Indiana State Superintendent of Public Instruction. The first gubernatorial debate will be held on October 2nd at 7 p.m.
The White House is hosting a first-of-its-kind meeting on infrastructure and artificial intelligence with America's top AI players. Sam Altman, the CEO behind ChatGPT, is expected to attend. The rapid development of energy-intensive AI has sparked worries about the technology straining America's power grid. The International Energy Agency says a single request on ChatGPT consumes about 10 times as much electricity as a typical Google search. By 2030, AI is expected to spark a 160% surge in data center power demand, according to Goldman Sachs.
Parents who spend a lot of time on screens instead of interacting with their kids could be hindering their children's language development. That's according to a new study published Thursday in the academic journal Frontiers in Psychology. They found that parents who use screens more had children who also use screens more, and those children had lower aptitude in grammar and vocabulary. Now, that data showed watching screens do not help children's language skills. Researchers suggest that parents should not spend too much time on devices when they're with their kids.
And up next, SpaceX makes the first privately funded spacewalk.
This break.
As a dad, every day is a challenge. To make sure that the time that I have, I spend with them. It doesn't matter how tired you are, you have to try to teach them. When they learn something new, and you can just see in their faces, it's such an incredible moment. It's those moments that are my favorite.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those barbecues you plan in detail for your family? Or your daughter's first costume party? It was out of this world. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
When tornadoes touched down in parts of our viewing area, NewsLink Indiana kept you informed days in advance.
You do need to be seeking shelter.
Marginal risk of severe weather.
And days after.
The roof has been ripped completely off of this house,
giving you a first-hand look at the communities affected.
When your neighbors lose their house and you don't, how lucky you are.
The first to alert you of severe weather before it happens. NewsLink Indiana Weather.
Can't believe you're doing this alone.
I've done it before.
I remember. You threw your back out. How you holding up?
Hand me that board.
Nothing wrong with getting help.
I'm good.
I did it when Felicia left.
I'll figure it out.
I know you will, but you don't have to do it alone. That's all I'm saying.
If I promise to look into it, will you drop it and help me build this fence?
Now you need my help.
It can be a real pain sometimes, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
If you or a veteran you know needs support, don't wait. Reach out. Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Welcome back. It's a giant leap forward for commercial space programs. Now check into this. A 4-person crew on a private mission aboard a SpaceX capsule completed the world's first commercial spacewalk today. Brian Abel explains the significance of this historic moment and what it means for the future of space travel.
SpaceX Mission Control erupting in cheers as the hatch of the Crew Dragon capsule opens, exposing the 4 crew members inside to the vacuum of space. Over the following 2 hours, billionaire tech CEO Jared Isaacman and SpaceX engineer Sarah Gillis complete the world's first commercial spacewalk for about 10 minutes each. From outside the capsule, Isaacman taking in views of Earth passing by some 450 miles below.
Back at home, we all have a lot of work to do, but from here, Earth sure looks like a perfect world.
The mission commander also bending and stretching. This space dance meant to test how their suits move.
No one has ever used this spacesuit out in space before, so it opens up a whole new capability. We haven't had a new spacesuit in over 40 years. So all the latest technology since then integrated into a new tech suit.
Former International Space Station Commander Chris Hatfield says Thursday's mission opens the door to exciting new opportunities.
The SpaceX capsule has never gone down to the zero pressure vacuum of space before, testing the hatches and all the equipment inside that everything worked.
The Polaris Dawn crew will spend another couple of days in orbit, checking off remaining mission goals and working through a list of experiments. The Crew Dragon spacecraft could make its return to Earth this weekend. In Washington, Brian Abel reporting.
With this launch, it will forever change how we view space. Now, this is a really interesting story, and it is different and pretty new. I haven't heard of anything like this before.
Yeah, honestly, I've really always been interested in space and what's going on up there because we really don't normally get to go up to that spot a lot.
Right,
but
yeah.
Let's see what weather has going on for us.
Yes, right now we are tracking high temperatures for mostly the rest of the week. But currently in Muncie, 74 degrees, Lafayette 77 degrees, 80 degrees in Indianapolis, 72 degrees in Terre Haute. So just like us, our surrounding cities are also experiencing those high temperatures. However, it is supposed to cool off quite a bit tonight. A low of 61 degrees, some calm winds up to 10 miles per hour from the east-southeast, and a mostly cloudy night overall. So tonight's the perfect night for a bonfire. There's no chance of rain, mostly cloudy skies, and cooler temperatures to cool off from the heat today. Looking at tomorrow, 8 a.m., 62 degrees, mostly cloudy in the morning, and then the clouds will start to clear up during the day. By noon, it will be 78 degrees, and by 5 p.m., it will be 86 degrees, which is the high for tomorrow. So another super, super hot day, just like it's supposed to be for the rest of the week. Let's take a dive into the rain accumulation that we have gotten this month. So it's been a very, very dry month, 0.02 inches of rain for the entire month. Normally, we would have 1.13 inches for the entire month. So we are 1.11 inches below of what we should be by the end of the month. So we do have a lot of catching up to do. And so does our surrounding states and counties. Take a look at Ohio over there. They are in extreme to exceptional drought right now. So they are in desperate need of some rain. But let's look at Muncie. We are in dry to moderate, but we still could use some rain. However, I do not see that coming within the next 7-day forecast. So unfortunately, ours might get pushed to severe due to the sun and the heat that is going to be happening the next 7 days. This rain that is coming up from the tropical storms in the south is going to head right towards Muncie and then kind of curve away right before it gets to us, but it will be leaving its clouds and its trails right over Muncie. And then you can see pretty cloudy weekend, and then it starts to dissipate on Monday. So by Monday morning, we should have a clear start to the week, which is always a great thing. The temperatures have been very, very hot recently, and it's like that for over half of our country right now is above average temperatures. You can see just this little section over in the west is actually below average, but right where we are, this dark red means we are well above average, and I'm sure you can tell that if you've taken a step outside at all this week. It has been crucially, crucially hot. The next 7 days, it's kind of a boring, I wouldn't say boring, but boring week. There's not much going on. Mostly temperatures holding steady in the mid to upper 80s. We do have a couple days almost reaching 90 degrees, and the lows are staying steady in the low 60s, mostly sunny and some clouds throughout the week as we move on. So how do you guys feel about 90 degrees in September?
It's definitely not fall weather, but you know what? We're getting there.
Yeah, I enjoy the heat. I'm not really ready for fall weather. I don't have my fall materials yet. So until then, I will be enjoying the heat.
Yes. Well, thank you. And there's a lot more to get on NewsLink Indiana, and here's a preview of sports.
Thanks, Emma. 2 local powerhouses go head-to-head on the volleyball hardwood, plus 1 Cardinal football player finds himself in an unfamiliar situation. All this and more next in sports.
There's something about having that piece of paper. Some people think that's worth more than my skills.
I've run this place for 20 years, but I still need to prove that I'm more than what you see on paper.
You just gotta be so good they can't ignore you.
It's the way my mind works. I have a very mechanical brain.
Analytics and empathy. That's how I've gained clients.
I am more.
I'm more than who I am on paper.
When I was growing up, my mom was extremely tidy. We were trained to put things back where we got them from. One day, when I walked into my mom's house, I felt like I walked to someone else's house. There was stuff everywhere, and just growing up the way I grew up, and to see this transition was very alarming.
When Sean talked to me, it was a wake-up call, and that's when I went to the doctor.
¿Qué color? Perfecto, mijo.
Gracias. Thank you.
What's wrong, mijo?
Donating to a pet's medical care is one of the many ways you can help families in your community. Pets and people belong together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
At night, NewsLink Indiana brings you the news before you go to bed.
But Friday mornings, you're waking up with Cardinal weather, bringing you up to speed on the day's top stories.
and giving you up-to-the-minute conditions from the Ball State Weather Center.
And of course, lots of fun.
I gave mine personality. Look, it's got eyebrows.
Ooh, my lucky glove didn't even work.
But I also am excited for those fall temperatures.
Start your Friday mornings with Cardinal Weather, live on the Cardinal Weather Facebook page.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Abby Urban with sports. The Delta Eagles women's volleyball hosted Muncie Burris Wednesday night. This intense match was capped off in 3 sets, all coming down to the wire in favor of the Delta Eagles. Senior Maddie Grove and junior Addie Phillip led the Eagles to victory with 13 kills each. The match was a game of intensity as the two teams squared against one another with teamwork, strategy, and communication. The Eagles won set 1 20-25, set 2 25-27, and set 3 27-29. The Eagles look to protect their nest against the Monroe Central Golden Bears tonight. To pass things over to the shoe, a returning Ball State player hits the field again, but this time on the flip side of the ball. NewsLink Indiana's Jake Dickman has more.
Someone that has been described as a dynamic playmaker on the field and a great person off, redshirt junior Kyle Kelly faces a new challenge unlike any that is often seen in the sport of collegiate football. After featuring at quarterback in all 12 games last season for the Cardinals, including starting the final 6, Kelly found himself in uncharted territory entering summer workouts as it was announced that sophomore Caden Samanza would be named the starter for the upcoming season. But having him as a backup wasn't an option that head coach Mike New was fond of.
Just had a meeting with him and said if we're going to start tomorrow, Caden would be the starting quarterback. Now, in saying that, I feel like Kyle's one of those guys that's such a good athlete. How can we get him on the field?
Thus, the Cardinals assessed their options for how to keep Kelly involved. That's when defensive backs coach Daryl Perkins realized that Kelly fit the mold for a defensive player.
He's got high football IQ on the field. And so once you put that IQ and you mix that with the talent and the athletic ability, like I say, that's a winning combination.
So, after some discussion amongst New, Perkins, and most importantly Kelly, it was decided that he would make the switch from quarterback to defensive back. The switch, however, wasn't going to be as straightforward as it may sound, according to Perkins.
It's like being a new person on the job. So when things happen, there are a lot of first time. This is the first time that I did this. This is the first time I had to react to this. The first time that I've seen this.
Even Kelly himself admits that there was a learning curve at the start.
Just learning the new techniques and all the fundamental stuff. It's been a grind, but it's nothing that, I didn't think that I couldn't do.
But this coaching staff has been here to help Kelly along the entire transition.
Coach Perkins played a big role. He was always supportive of me from day one. And, even now, we meet every day. He's just really putting in the work to trying to get me to that player that I want to be.
And Kelly feels that his quarterback knowledge already gives him a leg up on the opposing QBs.
I have to play the game within the game, basically, like put myself in the quarterback's shoes, and what would I do there in that moment?
After just 1 week, New and Perkins are keeping their expectations grounded for the new defensive back.
The expectations just get better each and every day. Just keep attacking.
As long as he's making a contribution week in and week out, we're happy.
But the biggest thing Kelly wants is to just enjoy the change of scenery and find the success that he knows is there.
I'm here to embrace the switch and show people that I can do this and really be that all-MAC player that I know I can be.
In Muncie, Jake Dickman, NewsLink, Indiana.
Kyle and the undefeated Cardinals head to Hard Rock Stadium to take on the undefeated 10-ranked Miami Hurricanes this weekend. The Canes come off a 56-9 victory over Florida A&M, as well as a Week 1 41-17 victory over Florida. After a bye in Week 1, the Cardinals soar into the opponent's stadium with a win under their feathers over Missouri State 42-34. Kickoff for the game is set 3 o'clock. To stick to the gridiron, after a mass wave of teams leaving the Pac-12, the conference looks to realign themselves this upcoming season. And with one mass exodus starts a new conference exodus, as the Pac-12 looks to steal 4 teams from the Mountain West Conference, including Boise State, Colorado State, Fresno State, and San Diego State. With the addition of these 4 teams, the Pac-12 is now just 2 teams away to participate in the Football Bowl subdivision and has a 2-year grace period to meet the 8-team quota. These new teams will join the Pac-12 on July 1st, 2026. Well, guys, we're going into this weekend with a game for Ball State. How are we feeling?
Honestly, after the win from last weekend, I think if we have great energy, I think it's going to be amazing.
It's always amazing to be in Schumann, so I'm glad they're going to be in Miami.
Yes, I agree, and I believe we're off to a good start, and I'm excited to see what we have cooking up for this season. So thank you so much, Abby, for sports.
Of course.
And coming up, we'll have your campus coverage and one final look at weather.
Attacks against Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders are on the rise.
My simple solution to the problem was remove people from the scene and help them feel safer. In terms of the hate crimes, I think there is so much more work to be done. We really need to come together and tackle this issue as a community.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Two milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable. The sad reality is, fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kids should know.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back. My name is Evan Schatz, and this is your campus coverage. Students will have an opportunity to learn about different careers at the Cardinal Jobs Fair. Taking place Wednesday, September 18th at Worthen Arena, the Jobs Fair will bring 180 employers from various businesses. The most common companies will work with technology with a partnership with the company TechPoint. Recruiters will come to engage students with positions that help with their aspirations. Students will also have the chance to get a free professional headshot for social media sites. Assistant Vice President for Career and Professional Development Jim McAtee and his team will be in attendance to help learn students' interests and introduce them to the businesses. He encourages students to attend and be prepared to learn about the different job and career opportunities.
Students come ready. Employers want to meet you. They're very interested in Ball State talent. And if you need some help, connect with the Career Center. That's what we're here for.
The event will run from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Be sure to bring your student ID in order to check in.
All right, and I think that is so cool that we're getting free headshots especially. I feel like we don't really offer that often.
Yes, I am looking forward to that because I need a headshot. You know, it's always good to renew a headshot. So.
All right, and weather, what you got for us?
Yeah, let's take one last look at the 7-day forecast. So mostly all week we have temperatures holding steady in the mid to upper 80s. So very, very hot for this time of year. Lows in the low 60s, so nice cool nights. It's perfect weather for going outside, having a campfire, anything like that. Pretty much sun all week, peaks of sun throughout the days all week, but those clouds are holding steady from the tropical storms that are coming up from the south. And that's all we have tonight. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Aaliyah. I am excited for the warm weather that is coming up.
Yeah, sweater weather, pumpkin spice.
Yes.
I'm really excited. I'm gonna study outside, put up my hammock.
Yeah, it's just things like that. And you know, like getting everybody together, having like a good bonfire or something.
Oh, yeah.
I love s'mores. That's like my favorite.
Oh,
That's
those
my
are
favorite
so
treat.
good.
Like that is my favorite treat.
You're gonna be craving those at like 9:30 at night.
Yes,
girl.
I definitely am. And with fall coming up, Halloween. How are you feeling about Halloween? Are you gonna dress up?
Oh, I'm definitely dressing up.
I'm dressing up as well. Yeah.
And that's all tonight for NewsLink Indiana. Be sure to tune in tomorrow night at 9, streaming live on the NewsLink Indiana Facebook page.
And for news anytime, anywhere, just go to ballstatedaily.com. Have a great night and stay safe.